episode 9, frequency 43. Thank you for joining us today. We have a
Is that to me? Thank you for joining, you guys. Is that what you're saying? Or are you talking to the viewers?
Introduce yourself to the podcast.
Just to get right to it, my name is Will Reuter. I've been these guys' friends, John and Lucas, for years and years and years. Mm-hmm. And I'm nervous to be here, frankly. I'm nervous to be here.
Right. I mean, when we're live, we're grooving, you're gonna say something that like he's like, oh, I didn't want it to mean you just gotta lay it out there,
rock with it.
The more you do it, the more you go with it, the better it is. And
right. Lean in.
I've known Will for a good amount of time. He's a very competitive person, especially in table tennis.
It's true.
Shout out your guys' table tennis matches are fucking a beautiful thing to watch. I'll say that right now.
Are we trying to record this podcast, or John, do you just want to record us playing table tennis? What are your thoughts? Which one do you think will do better?
Maybe that would get some.
Dude, that would be a great episode. Make that episode 10. Let's make that episode 10. Podcast mid table tennis match.
And it'll just be the audio, all the grunts, all the table tennis noises. No video.
I mean, hey, when you get to a certain skill level, though, I would 100% call that a sport, though. Like it is.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Coordination required for that is absolutely
incredible.
Insane. Yeah, undoubtedly. I just hate when people call it ping pong, bro.
Oh, right. I mean, ping pong's what I play in my backyard. Right.
Playing outside, bro, with the wind, that is the worst.
Yeah, table tennis is what I play.
You guys are some elitists.
Yeah, no.
You guys are like, I won't play with a 4-star.
Someone asked me to play ping pong. I said, what'd you say?
What?
What'd you call it?
What'd you say, bro?
What'd you call it? I mean, I have my table tennis paddle right here. I usually keep it right here. I don't know where it is now, but I almost pulled it up right there. No, yeah, elitist for sure. Next question.
Have you still been playing Rocket League?
Oh, yeah. Lots of
Rocket League. Can you fly in the air yet?
I don't know how to fly in the air.
Yeah, I can. It's called aerial. Yeah, I can hit aerials.
Yeah?
Listen, guys, I'm going to have to go. I'm kidding. No, it's called aerialing. Lucas, 1, I'm plat. 2, I mean, I'm pretty good, all right? I'm pretty good.
Okay, well, you have to whip it out in front of everybody, right?
Right. On live television. Oh, yeah. I'm pretty good at Rocket League.
I was platinum in League of Legends for a little bit. Now I'm.
I have a question. What do you guys know what is platinum? Is it a metal?
Yeah, it's a metal.
So
it's on
it
the periodic table.
Valuable metal.
Why?
I believe.
Is it why can't platinum be like the bronze in the Olympics? Doesn't that sound a little bit better off the tongue? Gold, silver, platinum.
It does sound
it sounds
better,
a little too. It sounds a little too good to be at the bottom,
fine.
Man.
Let's go. Gold, platinum, silver.
I don't know, man. I'd say platinum, gold.
Platinum over gold.
Platinum, gold, silver. I mean, platinum's more valuable than silver. I'm almost sure of it.
I wonder what they use it for, because I know gold is for they use it in
Don't they put it in a Prius or something? Platinum.
That's lithium. That's lithium.
Okay.
Lithium could be the new bronze then.
I really honestly would be talking out of my ass here. I have no fucking idea.
It's not why you guys brought me on here. I mean, no shit, platinum's not in a Prius. What do you? I mean, come on, help me out.
Take it till you make it, bro. I feel like I talk to a lot of people who don't know what they're talking about, but they'll know certain facts about it, and they just repeat facts they've heard on the internet, X, Y, and Z, and it's okay, the little verbiage of it, but I feel like you don't know the whole like everything about it. You know, you're just giving a little spiel so you can put your best self forward. You know, you're just trying to sound smart. You know, you're just trying to sound smart. You're just faking it. But hey, I'm faking it too. Fake it till you make it.
Hold on 1 sec, guys. I'll be right back. Sasha's barking.
Oh, Sasha's
barking.
An amazing athlete. So I swear, there's something about dogs that like my dog's a purebred, so it's like I think when you have a dog that's not like supposed to be like a household dog, they're a little bit more athletic, and like I feel like they live longer too, because like you know like when you like, because look at natural selection, right? Because when you look at like golden retrievers or like labs and stuff, they've been artificially bred. But when you look at an athlete like Sasha, Lucas's dog, like this dog had to survive. You know, like it's not
lots of primitive instincts.
Oh, undoubtedly. So
this is less domesticated. You know,
100%. And it's like I can see that like when Sasha interacts with other people, like she'd be much more hostile. But it's interesting. So me and Lucas, we hiked up Mount Diablo. It's a pretty big mountain where we live, but we went with Sasha on the way up.
2,800 feet.
It's 26 miles.
38.
You're walking a marathon up and down a hill, pretty intense. But it's not like rocky or anything. It's just like it's not a tedious climb at all. But I went with Sasha, and Sasha had to be in front the entire time. Like if I was right here and I was like walking like forward, like in front of Sasha would have to be right here. Like she always was the leader in the pack.
Yep, leading the pack. I was just about to say.
Lib, we're talking about when we went up Mount D, and Sasha always had to be the leader in front of me and you when we were going up.
Dude, for the next 2 days after that, she couldn't move. She literally couldn't move. She was so sore. Dude, I felt so bad because she doesn't show any pain, so I had no idea that I was pushing her too hard. The next day she was just literally couldn't barely move a muscle. Like anytime I tried to move her, she was like limping and like hella whining. I was like, dude, I feel so bad.
Yeah. Perry does the same thing. My dog, I have a poodle mix. He's a little guy, 15 pounds. Smaller scale. When we're walking to the park, he has to lead the way, protect us from other dogs. He's sniffing, he's pissing. So definitely the same thing. And he'll walk until he's sore as well. I think that's across the board.
I think it's something dogs, that like the whole idea of Sasha, despite her being in excruciating like pain and stuff, she was still the leader of the pack, even though like she like suffering so much. Like they say like you could run it, like if you run with the dog is going to keep going as long as you go, like even if you go as long as you possibly can, which is interesting, because they say humans are we're endurance athletes. So like when we were hunters and gatherers, we would go in packs and we would chase the buffalo, right? Or any sort of animal. I don't know. I wasn't a hunter and gatherer, but we'd be chasing these animals and they're faster than us. But if we chase them for long enough, then you could kill them, or specifically you could chase them off a cliff, which is kind of what happened a lot. But I think it's interesting that like people don't really like acknowledge that like we may not be fast as like a species, but we have an incredible amount of endurance in us. Like look at people running ultra marathons and stuff. Like I don't think a dog can do that.
How long is an ultra marathon?
It depends. Usually they're 100 miles, but some of them are longer.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, ultras are pretty intense. A lot of it has to do with like your training and diet and stuff, but
what I'll say?
100 miles?
Yeah.
Holy.
If I have to run 100 miles if I'm chasing a bison for 100 miles, I'd die. I don't know how my ancestors got this far.
Will, it's life or death, bro.
Yeah, no, I feel like you're capable of a lot more than you think.
I feel like the human mind is so like, you have so much more potential than you would think. Like we're so used to being like comfortable.
You guys are really sweet.
Will, you would be in the
Really
pack.
sweet.
You would be in the pack, and you would be a fucking alpha dog, bro. I know you, bro. It's just the way we've been conditioned in our society, and the way we've just been like numbed through like our phones and everything, and like, you know, you're sleeping in a bed tonight. You know, you're not sleeping under a tree. You know, like we're just so accustomed to all these things that we take for granted. But a lot of it is if we didn't take it, if we didn't have these things, we would be so primal, and we'd be like just like incredibly athletic. Incredibly athletic, I feel like. Like, cause like, what if you'd be born, you'd be running as a kid, undoubtedly. Average hunter and gatherer walked 8 miles a day, you know?
Without things that make life easier, essentially.
Just imagine not having a car and having to walk everywhere you ever want.
Exactly. Like, you would develop muscles, your body would be able to withstand that amount of mileage. And you would hunt that, you would fucking kill that bison, Will. Well, not you, your tribe. I don't think you could kill a bison on your own.
It's possible.
And the girls would be gathering.
Hey, never say never, baby.
Yeah, you're gonna gas me up and then say I couldn't kill the bison. I think I'd have a solid chance.
Well, I think it's natural. I mean, we're social primates too, right? Like there's no way that we would. I think
it's crazy how social we are as primates. I mean, all you got to do is look at social media and how much time people spend on social media.
Dude, social media
is insane,
bro. The whole idea how you
we're such social creatures, man. It's like putting the worst thing you can do to someone is put them in solitary confinement.
Well, because then you're brain, right?
But I don't think social media is an accurate depiction on how we're supposed to socialize at all. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm just saying it's an example of how social as creatures we are.
Yeah.
I think it's an example of how unsocialized we've become. You know what I mean? Like the whole idea how like we weren't meant to. First of all, we weren't meant to talk on Zoom. We weren't meant to talk on Instagram. You know it.
But how can you say that? Like, were we meant to talk on Zoom? Like, you know, just like we were talking on the other podcast about a bird creating a bird nest. Like, whoa. Well,
I think meant is not a good word. I think it's more so what we're used to, right? Because if you look at an evolutionary perspective, right? Well, maybe for 0.00001% of history, we've been talking where you're all the way in Santa Barbara and I'm in Walnut Creek. So it's not meant, but it's more so just like what we're accustomed to.
The way I like to look at it is better off. I don't think we're better off talking, you know, through social media, through a screen. I don't think we were meant to talk through a screen. I don't think we're better off talking through a screen, you know.
Right.
That's how
but there's
some language I'd use to describe it.
There's undeniable benefits though of being able to talk to, like, just for safety, you know.
Or look at a business perspective, right? Like you look at the whole industry of of buildings, right? Like no, my dad doesn't work in an office anymore. Like his company's all on Zoom and stuff, right? Like the whole especially because of COVID, the whole idea of interacting on these types of platforms. I mean, we're definitely we're not going backwards, you know, we're definitely progressing towards this type of interaction, and we're social creatures. But going back to social media, I think
that is something I'm kind of scared of though, like not even seeing anybody else in person anymore and just only seeing them on Zoom, you know.
It's sad.
In the future, you maybe sometime in the near distant future, you don't even go to school anymore. You just go to Zoom class.
Right. Well, because it'd be so much cheaper too, right? It'd be so much
cheaper for everyone. But it's not the same.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the same.
No. And Lamb, I don't think we'd go backwards, but you know, you can still move forward with Zoom calls, you know, online interaction.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we're going backwards, but we're losing a lot. I think we're losing a lot. I think one loses a lot. If you were to have a little baby human who's never interacted with someone and only interacted with someone through a screen, they would not
I
be
completely
able
agree.
to
Well,
do anything. You know what I'm saying?
like,
It is not how we're meant to communicate at all.
completely agree. I
Like,
completely agree with that statement. I think that was really well said.
that was it. I love that point, Will, because it's like the whole like developmental stage is the most important stage in your life, right? Like,
Yeah.
once you're 20, like I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, like I feel like it's
21.
not a
21.
big deal for us. I feel
Hold
like for us it's not as big of a deal as this whole like
No.
we've had to grow up and all, like we've done everything. We all gave our speeches and shit. We went to prom, we graduated from real high school and everything. But like for a young person growing up right now, like a baby, you know, I like what you said, Will. I thought that was a great point, you know.
I think it's literally crippling. Like that's the word I would use to describe.
Because think about it, we grew up, when we grew up, this shit didn't exist, bro. We were growing up before flip phones.
TVs were this big. The TVs were like, what's that thing about?
We're on the cusp. Like our generation is on the cusp of this information and
no doubt.
Right, it's crazy.
Let me ask you guys this: how old were you guys roughly when you were exposed to like an iPod Touch or like an iPhone?
Probably like middle school, right? Like 7th
What do you
grade.
mean exposed?
Like when did you get an iPhone or an iTouch?
Well, I saw people with my babysitter had an iPod Shuffle when I was like 7 or 8. And
No,
so I would listen to music on that. I had my first iPhone when I was a freshman in high school. That's when my parents got me my first iPhone.
Right. I really do think we are at a critical, because like the first iPhone probably came out when we were what, like.
But think about that. Now 5? It's like I was when I was a freshman in high school. I got my first iPhone. There's some 3-4-year-olds playing on an iPhone. You know.
Exactly. Right. That's my point. Is we are people born 3 years before us were exposed 3 years.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Us. And especially like if you were rich, you know, like if you could afford it, right when it came out.
Affluence plays a part. You know, how many times have you guys seen a parent, you know, in a restaurant show give their kid who's misbehaving an iPhone? Like,
yeah.
I've actually never seen that.
Oh, you're lying to me, Lib. You're lying to me.
Lib, come on, we gotta build them up. We can't break them down. No, but I've
never seen that. Maybe I just don't look around.
You've never seen a crying baby in a restaurant be handed an iPhone?
Why the hell would you bring it? Why would you bring a baby? First off, why are you bringing a baby to a restaurant? Okay, that's
the point.
That's a solid point, but people do it. All right, next point. What's your next point?
Okay. I don't. Maybe I just have a bad memory and I've seen it. You're probably right. I've probably seen it before. I just don't have a clear memory.
Like
more so babies and airplanes. You know,
exactly. That's what.
You know, in an airplane though, give that motherfucker an iPad, bro. Like, shut him up. You know, like, bro. You know, we're flying in a tin capsule 30,000 feet above.
But that is terrible. That is terrible. Babies these days are exposed to that.
Right, but at the same time, we're flying in a tin cap. We're flying in like a capsule 30,000 feet above the earth, you know, like there's 300 people around us and this one motherfucker doesn't know it, but he's fucking the vibe up for everybody else. Like, you know, at that point I would say just give the motherfucker an iPad.
So right, you're saying if the baby's crying, then like give him the device.
I'd say if you're in a situation where you can't avoid it and your baby's fucking up and you know the iPad's going to fix it and you're in a plane with 300 people, I'd probably give my kid the iPad, yeah.
All I'm saying is that is bad, you know? I'm not saying whether or not – well, I don't think people should do it. No,
it's good for the people that don't hear it.
But let me say something first. I would never want to be in a situation where I have to bring a baby on an airplane in my whole life. I never want to be in that situation.
Okay, so I'm gonna side topics a little bit. I was on an airplane probably a few weeks ago. And
bro, why are we getting hit with this fucking limit?
It is what it is. It is what it is.
This is so beat.
I was on an airplane a few weeks ago, and I was like,
"What? How?"
I farted, okay, and I was like, wow, you can fart as loud as you can on an airplane without anyone knowing.
Yeah.
without any fun, bro. I was like, I'm gonna test it. I'm gonna fart as loud as I possibly can. Did it? No sound at all. No, I was appalled. I was like, what the heck?
Wait, why?
No. Full next to you heard it. He felt it. He knew.
Because of the air pressure or what?
No, just because the noise. It's like,
oh.
I swear.
You think it was plain lamb? Someone picked it up. Someone's radar picked it up.
Okay. This is maybe someone felt a little vibration, right? Or maybe they got a whiff. But the noise of it, not one person. I'm guaranteeing that. Next time, okay, the listeners out there too. Next time you're on an airplane, try it out.
Fart.
Some gas. Just be like, I'm not lifting up a butt cheek to like, right? I'm going.
Not telling people to fart on airplanes.
It's truly one of the most magnificent things that you can fart as loud as you can in a public area, and no one will know. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Try it out.
I think it depends where you're sitting.
Why?
You know, if you're in the middle of a row versus the end of like the window seat.
I was in the middle, fam.
You're in the middle? You telling me right now you're in the middle?
I was in the middle, yeah. Okay. I'm telling you. In an airplane. The noise, you don't know it, but the noise is like but speaking of that, it was weird, like with the whole idea of like Corona and being in an airport. It was like, I guess we live in a completely flipped society in the last 6 months. Like, it's insane.
It's crazy, bro. That it's actually, you can't even go outside with a mask anymore without getting canceled.
Yeah.
Fucking nutty.
I think it has to happen, though. I mean, do you guys not think it has to happen?
Bro, I think we're way past that point, man. I think that maybe before we got this fucked up, we did all this shit, but now it's like this state's quarantining and this other state's not, and this coffee shop says no mask and this coffee shop's allowed to have mask. It's like, bro, like, what the fuck's going on anymore? If we were gonna do something, it should have been like a communist government shit, but that's the problem. You know, we're not communist government. But if we wanted to actually effectively do something, we should have cut the airports off right when this shit started. Cut off all domestic travel, cut off all international travel. It's gonna gut the airline industry, but what are you gonna do, dude? It's like, what are you gonna fucking do? Airline industry is already pretty fucked.
I mean, what you need to do now is, I don't think it's too little too late.
Right now we're so, bro, it's so late.
But masks will help 100%. 100%.
Okay,
it'll help, bro, but it's too late. At this point, it's like, if you're susceptible to the virus, you should probably just stay home.
Do you remember the Corona guy, like, expert? I think his name is Dr. Fauci or whatever. But he was like, this was a while back. But he was like, oh yeah, you should wear a mask. And then he's like, oh yeah, wait, you don't have to wear a mask. And then he's like, okay, wait, now you do have to wear a mask. And it was like, well, like the whole, like, what I'm getting from all this is like, there's just so much disinformation, right? Like first of all, our modern day media outlets are fucking dog shit. Like, I don't trust them with a grain of salt. So then, like, who are you gonna trust? And it's like, I feel like, and then it's like, well, how serious is, like, I have no idea. I don't know which news source to trust or anything, and that's where I'm at, right? Because it's like, the more I know, the more I don't know. If that makes any sense at all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. At the beginning, it was really interesting because people said you shouldn't, like, you know, the CDC guy, Fauci, said you shouldn't wear masks.
Yeah.
Necessarily.
Yeah.
And that was wrong. That was definitely wrong.
Completely wrong.
But kind of the meaning behind it is there was such a shortage.
Right. He wanted the masks.
Medical people didn't have masks. Right. You know, the people who really needed masks didn't have them. But now everyone needs them. I think that's the message.
So yeah, Will, that's a good point, because his intent of when he said not to wear a mask, it was like there was a shortage of masks in
Bro, you don't go out there and say you don't need a mask.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't lie to the like, I know you're lying to the public for the better of society, but it's like, well, once you lie, I'm never gonna trust you again. You know what I mean? Like, I for me, I take trust incredibly seriously, because once you break my trust, or once you break any person's trust, it just lowers your credibility, right? Because then you could be saying, I mean, because I could say anything with my words, right? But like, if you have no credibility, who gives a fuck? You know? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think he's acknowledged that was a mistake. I think there's a difference between lying and making a mistake. At that time, it might have seemed like, people were buying out masks. Healthcare professionals didn't have masks. At that time, maybe, you don't need masks, only if you have symptoms, only if you're caring for someone. But then he changed his mind. I don't think there's an issue with admitting a mistake and changing. There needs to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think
Makes
he's
that mistake. I don't trust him.
credibility with that.
I don't know, man. It's all just a little sketchy.
I don't know.
And then you got China being sketchy about it.
I don't even trust China with anything, bro. Like
Man,
really? Like,
it straight up probably fucking came out of a Chinese lab.
it could be a weapon, right? Wasn't it next to the Wuhan lab?
I watched this thing on it. They're saying that it's looking more and more likely that it was like came out of a Chinese lab.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. I'm not very educated. I don't know.
Isn't it crazy though that it happened during an election year too? Like, it would
right,
be.
But let me tell you this.
Okay, right. I get it, but it would have been crazy in these past 3 years, but just the fact that it happened in 2020, this year, this critical year in America. I mean, undeniably critical year in America.
Right, we're either going this way.
It hit us in a absolutely pinnacle. Isn't that just like a little like? I'm not saying it's suspect, but just like, isn't that just a little insane though? Like,
no, it could be suspect, but other side of the same coin. What narrative has Trump been trying to push about China? It could. I think it's just as likely that we had some sort of involvement and pinning it on the Chinese.
I think that the opposite is like we have involvement, but somebody's trying to pin it on Trump or something.
No, I think it is in Trump's best interest to pin it on the Chinese. You know what I'm saying? And that could help him in election.
No, but I think this whole coronavirus thing is in Trump's negative interest. I don't think Trump would have wanted this coronavirus thing at all. I don't know though. I could be wrong.
No. Okay, so this is.
I could be wrong.
I think all of our.
But can somebody enlighten me what Trump's benefit of this coronavirus would be? Why would Trump want a coronavirus? I don't think
any country.
Well,
you can go.
Because there's some people who are loving coronavirus.
What has coronavirus been from the start? Trump's been calling it the Chinese virus. I'm saying one possible benefit is Trump using the coronavirus as, leverage over China, saying this is China's fault amidst all these, essentially relationship problems with China.
Anywho,
like, they did this, distancing us from China.
Anywho, less than a minute left on the podcast. I want to know your take on it. Like, where were we right? Where were we wrong? Eat your fruits.
No, we're going to do a part 2. I'm not done here.
Keep in tune.
We're going to do a part 2.
Keep rolling and going.
I've got a lot more beers to
go. Rolling
on a highway.
River. Isn't it?
River.
I thought it was a highway.
No.
Highway.
Am I thinking about
you're getting it confused with I'm alright. Night long.
All right, boys. It's been a pleasure. I don't know what happened to my Zoom. I've never